In the previous video, we saw how to discover API and collect those endpoints in Postman and create a collection and everything. In this video, we are going to see how to exploit those endpoints. So we are going to start with authentication endpoints. Here we have our login page in crAPI, and we can see another functionality over here, that is forget password. Let's click on forget password and start our inspect element, and in the network tab reload this page. So like a normal user, I'm going to type in my email ID that I created in my previous video. So that is itachi00@gmail.com, and it will send us an OTP. Also in the network tab, we can see an endpoint identity API auth forget password, and it's a post request. Okay, so let's check out the OTP that we have got in the Mailhawk service. And here we can see crAPI OTP. It's a 4-digit OTP. So just like a normal user, I'm going to copy and paste this OTP and rewrite the password and set this password. So when I click on set password, we can see another endpoint request in the network tab. That is check OTP. And in response, we can see it says OTP verified with status 200. So to exploit this functionality, the first thing that comes to mind is brute forcing OTPs, right? And exactly that's what we are going to do. We can do this with the help of Burp Suite Intruder or another tool. I'm not going to use Burp Suite. We are going to use a tool that is FUF. So let's go through that process again. Here I'm going to provide my email ID again. But this time we are trying to guess OTP. I'm going to open my terminal, and here I'm going to use a word list that is in my user share seclets fuzzing, and here it is, 4-digit.txt file. So type in the command fuf-w to provide in the location of the word list, and -u to provide in target URL. You have to provide this post API request, not that path we can see in the address bar. So copy this endpoint, and with the -h command we will provide a header that is content type, and it is application JSON, as we are providing JSON data. And -x command to provide the HTTP method that we are going to use, and -d to provide in the actual JSON data that we are sending with the request. So we need to provide that data in single quotes. Copy this JSON data and paste it in the command, and hit enter. Oh yeah, we forgot to type in fuzz word, right, where we want to fuzz. And now the command looks fine. We didn't get any results. Okay, I guess there is some kind of rate limiting that is being used. Okay, let's import those endpoints in Postman. And now let's import this check OTP. Now, if we send this request, we are getting an error message with status 500. Well, did you notice something over here? We can see this endpoint has version 3 in it. But all of those previous endpoints we imported, we saw that it was using version 2, like in dashboard, vehicles, and other endpoints. Probably this version 3 over here is providing higher security. What if we change this to version 2 and then try to brute force OTPs? Maybe there is no rate limiting at all. And if this works, we have found an improper asset management vulnerability. This kind of vulnerability arises when an organization is using an API that is retired in a test environment and no longer being used. For example, sometime organization increase the security of an endpoint by changing its version from version 2 to version 3 or from version 1 to version 2, but those endpoints still support the previous version, and that can open up the space for all the vulnerabilities over there. Okay, let's test this out. Change this to version 2 and send this request. And now again we are getting status 500, but we are getting a different error message. It says invalid OTP, please try again. Well, that's interesting because we were getting a different error message in the version 3 and we are getting this message in version 2. And has a bigger size. Well, that's interesting. We can now send that FUF command again, but with version 2 in the URL. So again, I'm going to request for OTP. And this time we change version 3 to version 2 and everything else is same. Now hit enter. And we get a hit with status 200 and OTP is 8260. Let's test this out. And cool, we were able to change the password with guessing OTP. Means this version 2 endpoint is vulnerable to rate limiting. So in this video, we saw how we can exploit password reset functionality by exploiting API. So thank you for watching this video and please like and subscribe.